Everybody, hope everybody's having an awesome day here. We are live on YouTube, and we've got a good number of people that are joining us here live in Zoom on the Zoom call. Welcome to this month's elevator pitch, where we bring on three different IT vendors. Very excited to have ConnectWise, OpenText, and Sophos here with us today, and we'll do some introductions of each of them here in just a moment. And as we do this each month, we bring on three vendors so that we can learn more about who they are, what they do, and the value that they provide to MSPs. And we are all looking for new ways to improve our MSP operations, focus on that operational maturity, how we can be more efficient, more productive, more secure, deliver a better client experience, and last but not least, become more profitable. Each of these vendors can help you check off several of those boxes and so that's what we are here today. A couple things I wanted to bring up. Each of our vendors will have 10 minutes to tell us about their organizations. And at the end, once each of them are complete, we will open up our demo rooms. And those demo rooms will allow them to do a little more hands-on as well as answer any questions, additional questions that you might have that they did not cover. And the other thing I want to mention too is we have $250 cash that we're going to give away to one of the lucky attendees today. There is a catch. There's always a catch. We just need you to stay all the way to the end. So it's a small catch, but hey, $250. We got Thanksgiving. We've got the holidays coming up. Who doesn't want $250? So stay to the end. Make sure you stay to the end so that we can give that away for you. And with that being said, we're going to kick things off right away. We're going to start things. We have Trevor McCord, who I'm going to bring in here with us. And Trevor, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. It's great to have you here. Trevor is with ConnectWise. And so, Trevor, how long have you been with the organization?
Yeah, so getting close to 3 years here at ConnectWise as a sales engineer.
Excellent. And we're gonna ask we ask everybody each month one thing that's unique about them that others might not know. It could be anything. I mean, I played the drums when I was younger. When I say I played the drums, it doesn't mean that I was good. I just played them. It was fun, right? And so with that, Trevor, what's one unique thing about you that you'd love to share?
Sure. Yeah. Given the season, hailing from British Columbia, Canada here, very close to snowboarding, right? So very passionate about that. Local mountain
Nice.
is opening next week, I believe. So anxious to kind of get out on the mountains.
Awesome. I have never snowboarded or skied, even though I live in Michigan. Tomaszewski, dad joke, right? That's the closest I've come to skiing. So, um, all right. So, Trevor, we're gonna kick things off. I'm gonna go ahead and start your 10-minute timer, and you have the stage, my friend.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So we're here to talk about ConnectWise RMM here today. So it does sit on the ASIO platform. Um, Myself, Trevor McCord, right, as mentioned, sales engineer here at ConnectWise. I think I want to open the conversation though, just to kind of talk about the platform that it sits on, right? So the RMM was the first solution built on our ASIO platform, but what this is a modern architecture. There's more than just the RMM on that platform, but what that means is you get shared data layers, common services, um, common UI elements, right? So the ease of use and ability for your team to drive efficiencies through that collaborative effort of having multiple solutions in one place. We are going to focus on the RMM for today, but just kind of understand there is kind of more behind the scenes that would come as part of that overall ASIO platform. So what is an RMM? So remote monitoring and management. This gives you your entire tool set to drive your operations as a managed service provider, right? Sometimes internal IT teams would leverage things like this as well, but thinking of being able to remote connect to devices, run various management functions such as patching, scripting, software deployment. There's other elements of being able to discover what's on the network, monitor infrastructure. So thinking things like switches, firewalls, access points, right? And with ConnectWise RMM, all backed by our NOC team. Now, what this solution does is, again, give you visibility across all of your environments and not just, again, the agents that are deployed, but potentially other solutions that you're going to tie in there. So security and endpoint management solutions there, backup like BCDR. We have vulnerability management, right? So the idea here is that you're getting complete visibility and management across the various solutions that you're using right from that console. What we've also done is partner with Auvik. So they're very, very well known in the space for network monitoring and management. So what we've done is actually tie in there to give you, again, that single pane of glass to be able to view things like topology maps, have asset information for things, again, beyond your Windows, Mac, Linux devices that would have an agent deployed to them. So again, your network entities, whether that's switches, firewalls, access points, different things like UPSs, IP cameras. So again, giving you visibility and management capabilities across the entire spectrum of devices that you might be managing. A core component of RMMs is also patch management, right? You want to be keeping things up to date, whether that is your OS patching, right? So Windows devices are a great example of that. We're also doing third-party patching. So we have actually over 7,000 applications that we are able to keep up to date for you, which is really great. So reducing attack vectors, making sure that things are up to date, not having potential exploitable functions due to older versions of applications or missing OS updates. This is all backed by our NOC team as well. So another great feature that comes kind of part and parcel with the RMM is that the NOC team does security update patch testing. So this allows you to kind of streamline that, not having to go through that additional effort of managing testing procedures. It all gets very well documented and so forth. So again, you're able to review kind of any reasons as far as why something might have been blocked, for example. Another core element of the solution is a tool that we call Screen Connect, right? So this is our remote control technology, best in the industry. Not only can you get directly to an end user's desktop, right? So think shared screen session, being able to see what they see without needing to go on site. There's also functionality called Backstage. This actually lets you get in and do work without disrupting the end user. So all your common troubleshooting and management functions, whether you need to make registry changes, command line operations or PowerShell, and many, many other things, all while the end user would stay productive, right? So being able to connect to, again, those endpoint machines, your servers, your workstations, etc. Now, there's more capabilities as part of that could be added on as well. So a few things, one being what we call view. This would actually allow you to gain access to whoever's on the other end's camera, right? So rather than needing to go on site for each and every instance, this will allow you to, again, have the user connect with their mobile device, connect through their phone. So for situations where it's like, I just need to see what the lights are flashing, what's connected, things like that, getting you visibility on site without always needing to go on site. That's the view capability. Remote support, this is more along the lines of your ad hoc connections, right? So being able to connect to devices that are not under management. So often what that would be is sending them to a particular web link, they enter a code, giving you like that one-time access. Remote access is the kind of inverse where you do have an agent, right? So for your managed devices, so included with the RMM, allowing you to connect to any of those managed devices. And then another component is what we call privileged access, so a PAM solution. So giving you administrative level access without needing shared credentials. It'll also allow you to provide elevated access to end users. So a great example might be, maybe an accountant needs to be able to run QuickBooks as an administrator, but you don't want them to be an administrator overall on their machine. You can provide rules and that privileged access to that specific application where they can do those functions. Now, getting into kind of some of the more maybe nitty-gritty features and functions. So being able to create scripts. We also have AI assistants that can help with that. Many built-in functions, so think like low code, kind of what you see more on the left. The right-hand side, again, being able to generate scripts, whether that's PowerShell, Batch, or Bash, so support for your Linux and Mac devices as well. So many options available as far as what you can do. Different things like onboarding new devices, management and maintenance functions. So really being able to do administrative tasks for those end devices that you're managing very, very easily, again, including AI assistants to be able to generate, quite elaborate scripts there. Now, beyond just the endpoint scripting, we also have RPA, robotic process automation. So this is what I would refer to as cross-platform scripting. So an easy way to think of that is, something happens in one solution and I need to do something in an alternate solution. So some great use cases are, maybe a ticket gets generated from the RMM, but it passes over to my PSA, my ticketing solution, for example, and I want that to interact with a different solution. So maybe I want it to, because of a certain type of ticket being generated, maybe a server down or whatnot, I want it to also send a message to my team in Microsoft Teams or Slack or whatever you might use as an example. There's other things that you can do to streamline and automate processes for doing things like onboarding users into Entra, like Microsoft 365. Again, the sky's the limit, but think of this as I kind of suggested, cross-platform scripting, API level scripting, allow you to interact across potentially the various solutions that you use day to day. Time-consuming functions where someone might have to do that manually can be automated. Now, some other things to talk about are expert services, right? So we do actually have some availability of providing extensions to your team. There are certain things that come kind of inclusive as part of the RMM solution. So one being that the NOC team does those security update patch tests. So I talked about that with the patching discussion there, but other things that they do are actually curate the monitoring, right? So it's not just the management, you're getting active monitoring. They curate those, they'll update them over time in the interest of making sure that the alerts that go out are relevant and things that should be responded to. But you're also able to add on those teams as expert services, as extensions of your team. So whether that is them responding to specific alerts for servers, answering phone calls for your end users. We also have consulting services, dedicated techs that can actually work on your behalf. We have SOC services for our security solutions as well, including our SIM and EDR solutions, right? So various things that can be done to kind of build out your portfolio of services, such as allowing them to take on those workloads, saving you time and money as part of those efforts. Right. So again, the NOC services can do server management, identifying issues and resolving those on your behalf. They're very well certified, right? So they are a large team, lots of great performance and case studies on their behalf, but these aren't just run-of-the-mill people. They have great backgrounds and experience and certifications. We also have help desk services. So this can be whether it's daytime hours, after hours, and weekends, or 24/7, allowing you to kind of offload kind of level 1, level 2 support. Again, being an extension of your team potentially. So again, just some of the ancillary services that are also available. That does wrap it up for me. I think I might be getting close to time. This will actually allow you to sign up and register for a trial. So if you do want to note that, that is something that's available. That'll take you to the trial page. But That's it for me. Appreciate everyone's time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trevor. I appreciate that. And a couple of things that really jumped out at me is the backstage functionality that you guys have. I think for MSPs, that is tremendous opportunity for them to be able to take action on an end user PC without having to disrupt them through doing remote control. So doing that magic behind the scenes, I think clients greatly appreciate that. The other thing is automation. We all know that AI is ruling the world, and we've had automation built into RMM for some time, but just with the incorporation of AI that you mentioned, building that in to be able to make it more easy to put different scripts in place in different levels of automation, I think is huge. The things that we can do for our clients, the more things, that we can do that, accelerate the speed of resolving their issue, or just their request in general, because it's not always an issue. It could be just some just general requests. So those are awesome things. And so if you have more questions for Trevor, he will be available in the breakout room shortly. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest here. We have Mike DePalma with OpenText. How are you doing today, Mike?
Dan, always good to talk to you. Doing well.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. And I love the shirt you have on. You've got the Stack, our podcast shirt. That is awesome. I love it.
I wear it to the gym very often, Dan. I'm promoting you everywhere I go.
There we go. I appreciate it, buddy. So, Mike, we've known each other for quite some time, and there's tons of stories that I could share that are unique, but I'd rather have them come from you.
So I was just thinking about it. You might know this story, but about 13 years ago, I was on Family Feud, and we won
Yes,
the. Yeah, did I tell you that? I think I might have told you. So, yeah, so I was
yes,
on Family Feud. We got to the lightning round. We won the $20,000. You can Google it or you could search for it on YouTube. We hit 200 right on the dot to get the money,
yeah.
so it was pretty exciting. So that's my claim to fame.
That is very cool. And if you haven't seen that clip, you definitely need to see it. It's a great clip. And yeah, definitely. So we're gonna go ahead and kick things off and start your 10 minutes. And you have control. You are all set.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm Mike DePalma. I'm the Vice President of SMB Business Development for OpenText. I've been here since March. I've been in the channel about 11 years. So those of you not familiar with OpenText, we are a very large tech company, actually one of the largest tech companies based out of Canada. About 22,000 employees. We do about close to $6 billion in revenue. But the division that I oversee is the cybersecurity arm, which is the channel. So these are all everything we go through are going to be channel only products built with everything MSP in mind. But we've been going around at events and sitting on webinars and podcasts, kind of brainstorming where the channel is headed, what the MSP of the future looks like. And we've partnered with a couple firms where we've been working with Canalys and Omdia as well as Channelnomics to try to get a sense of exactly where we stand and where the changes are. And basically, all three of them agreed that we are in this sort of MSP 3.0 stage of the game here, right? First was the break fix, then we moved into this phase we've been in the last decade or two, the MSP, MRR kind of model. But as Dan just alluded to, AI is kind of changing the way everybody's doing business. But I also think it's a huge, huge opportunity for the channel. I was just at an event last week and we were talking on a panel about the study that came out earlier this year from MIT that said that 95% of AI projects failed to produce any ROI in the last 12 months. And for me, I look at that and say, what does that mean? Does that mean the small businesses aren't going to adopt AI? No. It means that there's a huge opportunity for someone, aka the channel and the MSPs, to step in and be that guided advisor to figure out, hey, what is the business outcome you're actually trying to figure out here with AI? What different tools are you using to accomplish that goal? Well, hey, you need a project manager for that. That's a perfect sweet spot for the MSP. And so we're kind of seeing changes in the way that revenue is being generated by MSPs. And I think revenue will look vastly different 5 years from now than it does today. The traditional MSP 2.0 model of, okay, I'm going to purchase this product, I'm going to, resell it, here's my margin, and go on your way. I think, for us as vendors, we have to figure out exactly what it means to be a vendor in this space and understand the channel and the challenges. And it was interesting, the Channelnomics conversation we've been having, we're really doing this because we're trying to revamp our partner program. And we want to get third party input. So we're getting focus groups of partners and non-partners run through these third parties to try to figure out what a good vendor partnership looks like, what a partner program looks like. And what was interesting was the number one thing that came up across the board was ease of doing business. And so at OpenText, we take that very seriously. So now as we're adjusting it, we're saying, okay, if this is what the channel is asking for, this is what we need to respond with. The other one is relationship with our account managers. And then actually third was profitability. So we're trying to check off all three of those boxes as we go. But within the study, when they looked at, this came from Jay McBain over at Canalys, where the market opportunity was going to be, clearly GDP is growing at 2%. The industry we're in is in double digits across the board, whatever it is that you're offering. We're seeing the managed cybersecurity and clearly increase every single year, with MDR services being the top opportunity in the channel. And when we look at that third wave, this AI third wave, and we've been kind of going around talking about the business solution provider. That's actually what you guys are now. You're providing business outcomes as opposed to just the simple, okay, I'm going to protect your business, be your help desk, that type of thing. And you guys are already doing it. We're really just trying to put a name to what it is you guys are doing. But when we look at this wave, I mean, every other major change that we've seen in the 11 years I've been here have been kind of a slow wave and a couple of years to adopt. Some people adopted it. We saw it with this shift to MSSP. That was the shiny object 7, 8 years ago. We saw some people have a lot of success. We saw a lot of MSPs step back and say, hey, I want to focus on what I do well. Then we saw co-managed IT, which is a huge opportunity for us in the channel to move up market. Again, that was this kind of steadier wave. When we're looking at AI, the wave is coming like a tidal wave. When we talk to the small business community, 3/4 of them said they were already using AI at work. We all know that that's probably close to 100, but these are the folks that self-identified as using AI at work. But almost half of them have just started in the last 6 months. So we are seeing it rapidly move. And so now is the time to not only figure out as an MSP what AI tools are going to do for you and help you run your business and become more profitable and all the rest, what it's going to do for your clients, but where's the profitability going to come from? And when we looked and talked to the MSPs in our most recent study that we did, the MSPs are saying they understand they are making money. They do see the business growth opportunity in AI, but less than half of them are confident that they're prepared to do so. And that's again self-reporting, so that number probably is lower than that. So there's this gap here of yes, there's going to be opportunity in the AI space specifically for the MSPs, but most folks feel like they're not prepared to actually take advantage of that opportunity. And so we as vendors really need to step up and figure out what we can do to help accelerate that growth that we know is going to be there. Now, one of the aspects of what we do is we are one of the largest Microsoft CSPs in the world. Actually, the longest standing. We were on stage when Office 365 was released. And so when we look at Copilot, and I have the conversations all the time, you're not going to become a millionaire just reselling Copilot in the old mindset of MSP 2.0 of, okay, I'm going to pay my $30, I'm going to charge 45, and there's my margin. Where the opportunity comes is not even talking about Copilot. Those first conversations should really just be, Mr. Business Owner, what's your biggest struggle in your business? Let's not even talk about IT. What's your biggest struggle? And you listen and you put together a plan to provide a business outcome using the AI tools like Copilot to provide that type of outcome. So now it's your all-in services. It's that kind of mindset of, hey, AI is a service to some extent. I'm going to help you drive revenue, eliminate some of these hurdles that you have through these AI tools. And here's what I'm going to be using behind the scenes. And this can now be included into your all-in seat price of the services that you're offering. So for us, smack dab in the middle is the Microsoft, but we also are the only Microsoft CSP that has our own stack of security products. So everything you see on here are products that we own. And you could buy directly through our secure cloud portal. So we're not a distributor. The only thing that we resell is Microsoft, but it allows you as an MSP to now manage all of your Microsoft licenses in the same portal that you would be managing any of your security stack. And back to the earlier point of what partners are asking vendors to be in terms of flexibility and easy to work with, we have no contracts with any of our products and no minimums. Our level of support starts on day one. We don't have tiered level support because that's what you're asking us for. That's not out of the goodness of our hearts. It's because that's what the data is showing us, that this is where the shift that the MSPs are asking the vendors to make for them. And so we also have free trials with all of our products. And it's not just a free trial to say, hey, you're going to go evaluate our EDR solution. You join, that's great. Now the free trial ends. We extend it to every one of your clients and prospects because we know that a lot of clients and prospects want to either do a proof of concept or might be balking at the cost and want to see the value of it before they sign a commitment. And so we want to meet you guys where you're asking to be met. And so all of these products can either be bought a la carte on that month-to-month basis, or you could buy them in bundles, and we have some self-service bundles, or we can customize bundles as well. And so I've been been here since March, and I get the question all the time, man, I didn't know you guys did that. I wish I had known you guys did that. So my main goal is to let you know that basically anything you need right or left of Boom, we've probably got a product that could fit in there. And the other piece of it, in terms of ease of business and where the open ecosystem is going, we integrate with everyone. ConnectWise is on here. We sell through ConnectWise. We sell through all the major RMMs because some folks like to procure their products that way. So you can buy through there. We compete with Pax8 on the Microsoft side. We also sell through Pax8. We want to be as easy as possible for you guys to work because you can't just say, here's what MSPs want because there's so many different flavors out there. Now, the last thing I want to bring up beyond our stack is, we have our EDR, which is our most recent release. The way we're defining EDR, you've got an endpoint sensor, which we just released earlier this spring. But our EDR comes with a cloud SIM and a SOAR as well, a security orchestration automated response tool, which really allows you to automate some of those common tasks that you need to do. And it's really as simple as just dragging and dropping, hey, malware's been detected. What step do I want to take? Well, I want to automatically quarantine that file. Okay, let's take a look. Does everything look good? Okay, we're going to notify these people. Maybe there's something still going on. Let's isolate the whole machine, notify these people. There's hundreds of built-in automations in there, and you could customize them as well. So now that EDR is now taking actions on your behalf to simplify what it is you're doing. For our MDR, you're going to get all of those tools, except now you also have the 24/7, 365 SOC. A vast majority of those folks are located here in the States. We also have a team out in the UK, but those are the folks you'd be working with on that. For this, it's bring your own endpoint sensor. If you're working with SentinelOne or somebody else that you're happy with, that's fine. Again, we work well with everybody. You could add on these MDR services. And lastly, we have our professional services team. This is one of the benefits from working with a large organization. We're able to pull down resources from that enterprise space. And so we've got a team of ethical hackers that will do full-blown pen tests, not just a pen test to check off a box, but this is boots on the ground, throwing USB sticks in the parking lot, trying to get to the gatekeeper, pulling the, hey, I forgot my key card, can you let me up? A full-blown pen test to see if I really was a hacker, can I get in? And we also have an incident response team as well. Digital forensics, incident response. These folks can testify in court. They could stand up to the feds. These are folks that can help assist you on your journey. And so we have a lot of services to provide in a lot of different aspects of what you guys do. So we'd love to further that conversation. I'll be again in the demo room, but if you want any more information, you could, here's the QR code for that. So how'd I do, Dan? Did I fit under 10 minutes?
You did very well, my friend. Good
All
job.
right. Thanks,
Greatly
man.
appreciate it. And I tell you, the AI conversation, I mean, I could sit here all day talking AI. This incredible opportunity that we have right now in our industry. There is no time that I can say that there's been so much opportunity. And the keyword that you focused on is business outcome. And we talk about that a lot with our MSPs on our weekly calls because it's what it's all about. And MSPs that truly want to be sticky are those that focus on that business outcome. That's where you develop those lifelong relationships and clients for life. The other thing I wanted to mention too, though, is AI is hot, but AI makes cybersecurity hotter because the two go hand in hand, and it's critical for us to work on both aspects of that. So, Mike, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next guest here. And we have Tiana Bosniak. How you doing today, Tiana?
Good, thanks, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. You are with Sophos. How long you've been with the organization?
4 years.
4 years. Awesome. And we were just talking a little about before we kick things off. You guys have your new logo. I love the fresh new look. The new icon. I'm not sure what do you have. Is there a name for that? What do you guys call the icon?
I
Is
don't
it
think
just
there's a name for it,
there's
just the
not a
new logo.
name. Just
Yeah,
just part of the logo.
the
That
shield,
is
I think we
awesome.
call it.
There you go. So, Tiana, tell us something unique about you.
Well, Dan, I'm a bit of a hobbyist. So my friends know me
Nice.
as someone who learns how to start doing sourdough baking and embroidery projects and tap dancing and puzzles, you name it. I've probably tried it. And I don't really master anything, but I love to try stuff.
That is awesome. I love it. Staying busy, trying different things, helps you find something that you love and have passion in. So that's cool. And
Exactly.
so I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you, and you have 10 minutes starting now.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. All right, well, I'm Tiana with Sophos, and I'm going to be talking about consolidating, integrating, and simplifying your cybersecurity platform. It's funny, Mike referenced Jay McBain at Canalys because I also like to point to his research that he has highlighted about how the cybersecurity platform is really having its moment this year, right? Meaning now more than ever, the need for a unified, integrated set of tools that can both simplify and centralize management to better protect your customers from sophisticated attacks is important. But simultaneously, this platform consolidation makes it both easier for MSPs like yourself to deliver these superior security outcomes while also making really great money doing it. So I'll launch in. A little bit about Sophos. You might be familiar with us. We've been around for a while, since 1985. We are a cybersecurity leader and we are channel only. And it's also our mission to be channel best, right? Enabling partners to deliver better cybersecurity outcomes and accelerate their growth and profitability. And we do this through our fantastic partner program. And specifically, we have a great MSP partner program, which I help support. And we've got over 7,000 MSPs globally on this program, and it is monthly consumption-based subscriptions. So there's no contracts whatsoever. And similarly with OpenText, you can set up free trials for every single customer. We believe in that as well. Just delivering a great program for MSPs. And I'll touch on that a little bit more towards the end. But a couple highlights about Sophos. Some people don't realize we're the largest MDR provider in the world, and we're also one of the most top rated and most reviewed in terms of MDR. Our top performer in the MITRE ATT&CK evals and one of the largest AI native open platforms in the industry, compatible with virtually any environment. And we do this through integrations. Currently, we have over 100 integrations into third-party tools, but that number will be actually going up to closer to 300 in the next little while because we did acquire a company called SecureWorks in the spring. And we have one of the most expansive portfolios of world-class solutions. So when it comes to consolidation, I always like to highlight a couple things, and that is third-party performance, because this shows the sort of validity of not only having the solutions to offer, but where they stand themselves. So when it comes to the Sophos endpoint, you might be familiar with our endpoint solution. We are a Gartner Magic Quadrant leader for 16 consecutive reports in a row. We're quite proud of this. There's no other vendor that's been named more times than us. And I do also like to highlight that recently we have made significant enhancements to reduce the footprint of our endpoint agent in terms of resource utilization. So if you've tried the Sophos endpoint in the past and you thought it was utilizing too many resources, we are aware of that. And recently, very recently, we have essentially fixed that. So that's virtually no longer an issue. We are the only vendor that is a Gartner customer choice in all four of these categories. And in terms of G2, the only leader in all five of these categories. So really, when we're talking about consolidating your portfolio, I like to highlight those aspects just because, again, we do have the portfolio to help you consolidate. So think about how many cybersecurity vendors you might be working with today. Are those tools fully integrated? Are they correlating detection information? Do you need to log into different dashboards to manage them? Are you spending a lot of time talking to those different vendors and getting quotes? And there's different pricing and licensing models and dealing with different technical support teams. A study that we did showed that MSPs say they could cut their day-to-day management time in half by consolidating on a single cybersecurity platform. And for MSPs with over 6 cybersecurity vendors, which very well might be you, they say that they think they could save over 2/3 of their day-to-day management time. So we take a much different approach here at Sophos, right? Rather than having point security products that work in isolation, don't really share information, have multiple management consoles and are built separately, we take more of a systems approach, right? Our tools work together, they're constantly sharing information. We've got centralized management. Our management dashboard is literally called Sophos Central, and then they are compatible by design. There really isn't enough time to go over the entire Sophos portfolio. So I just will give you this bird's eye view here. You might recognize some of these tools. But you might also say, oh, that might be new to Sophos, and that has a lot to do with our recent acquisition of SecureWorks. ITDR, for example, SIM, and these advisory services are all things coming from our SecureWorks acquisition, which we're really excited about. And those are being integrated into Sophos and available to Sophos partners. ITDR just launched 2 weeks ago and is available to Sophos MSP partners, which we're very excited about. Now, since we don't have time to go over the full stack, I like to hone in a little bit on the endpoint security stack. So endpoint, EDR, XDR, MDR. I like to show this slide just to show we've got it all. If you have a customer who needs MDR, great. If you've got a customer that needs endpoint, or I should say has the budget only for endpoint, we've got that as well. On our MSP partner program, we still aggregate all of the users across all of these licensing levels. So you're still going to get economies of scale regardless of what licensing level they're on. Now, most MSPs are increasingly moving towards standardizing on MDR, I should say, and Sophos can definitely help with that. So our MDR dramatically reduces the risk of experiencing an attack that really tools alone cannot stop, right? 88% of attacks happen during the evening, nights, or weekends, right? And 7 days is the average attacker dwell time, right? So we've got the 24/7, 365 coverage. And then I really want to highlight the 38 minutes. So this is the average response time, and we get around 231 of these incidents a day that we are responding to, and 38 minutes is the full time to resolution, which is fantastic. And we've got, of course, hundreds of experts. So I'm sure you're all familiar with some of the benefits of MDR, but I like to include this slide just as sort of an overview. We know it can reduce cyber risk, deliver better security ROI, and really increase your IT team's capacity, right? Freeing up time to work on more strategic and business-focused initiatives. Also improving insurance position, right? More and more insurers are starting to make something like MDR not only a nice to have thing that's going to help you get better coverage, but also more of a requirement because they have identified that it does indeed reduce risk. It's also going to reduce cybersecurity burnout and really provide that peace of mind. A lot of the times when I'm talking to folks about MDR, that's actually the most thing that they're focused on is that enhanced peace of mind, knowing that they can sleep at night and go off on vacation and have someone like Sophos watching their back. So that was a consolidation piece. Let's chat about integration. We have integrations with a bunch of MSP tools. These are all free, by the way. There's no additional cost for this. We've got our friends at ConnectWise right there at the top. So those can be very helpful for our MSP partners. We also have integrations into third-party tools for XDR and MDR. This is just a sample of some of the 100 or so integrations that we do have. Now, something really exciting is we used to charge for these integrations, but starting in January, these are all going to be free and included in XDR and MDR, which is awesome. In terms of Microsoft, of course, we do integrate with Microsoft as well. So lots of value that you can bring to your customers currently on the Microsoft stack. And as of recently, we can also perform several response actions to Microsoft, which is something that our partners have been asking for a very long time. So we're quite happy to be able to deliver that now. And I just want to highlight the breadth of the options that we do have to really enhance this stack when it comes to protecting legacy devices like Windows 7, Server 2012, for example. There's also device encryption that you can add on to help you manage your customers' BitLocker and file vault recovery keys, a slew of advisory services. And again, these are new from SecureWorks like penetration testing. You've got extended data retention. You can extend the data in the cloud for up to a year. And then what's brand new is Sophos ITDR, which again comes over from SecureWorks, which we're quite excited about. I do have a couple slides on this next, but if you are interested in learning more, I would implore you to join the breakout room and network detection and response. So with ITDR, so there's 5 key benefits. Again, I won't go through them in super detail here. Join my breakout room if you'd like to learn a little bit more, but this is our newest solution. And this is really going to help address the fact that identity is essentially the new perimeter, right? Most of the attacks that our incident response team are seeing are identity related. So this is going to help us address this a lot. And when you integrate this with MDR, this means that the MDR team is able to take some pretty important actions related to identity. And lastly, I'd like to kind of highlight we do help our partners a lot on the sales and marketing side. So for every product we have these things called desk aids, which help you be able to pull up a document that shows you kind of the discovery questions that you can ask your customers. So enhancing your sales capability, right? The types of questions to ask to open up those conversations for ITDR, those are some examples. And then there's a ton of resources that we include for Sophos partners when it comes to sales and marketing, whether that be competitive overviews, slide decks, brochures, you name it, we've got it. Lastly here, simplifying management and licensing, right? I mentioned Sophos Central is our management dashboard, right? So everything is in one place. And then our partner program, right? If you have more interest in learning more about this, I'm happy to share a bit more, but it is monthly consumption based, which our partners do love. And if you're an existing Sophos partner, we have a new loyalty program, which you might want to consider called MSP Elevate, which just unlocks some exclusive benefits. But that's all I've got today, and hopefully I'll see you in the demo room.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiana. I greatly appreciate that. And one of the things that really jumped out is, talking about the insurance requirements and there's always that challenge that MSPs are always faced with talking about cybersecurity and the need. And there's always do I really need this? Are organizations or are bad actors really going to target me? And we all know the real answers to that. But I think the challenge is sometimes, SMB clients need that little push. And when the focus is on cybersecurity insurance, it takes a little bit of the heat and the pressure off of MSPs in trying to make that happen. So, very good point there. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next phase. Tiana will be available in the breakout rooms here very, very soon. One of the things that we're going to do right now is we're going to throw a poll up. And basically, with the poll, we're just simply asking which of our presenters that you'd like to hear back from today. You just go ahead and fill that out, and we will share that information with them, and they can reach out to you and answer any additional questions that you have later on after this here. So the other thing I'm going to do before we open up our breakout rooms, just a quick reminder that we have $250 of cash available to one lucky MSP that stays with us till the end here, and we will randomly select somebody to have that $250. All right, so while you're filling out the poll, what I do want to share is we're going to open up our demo rooms. They're actually called breakout rooms here in Zoom. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see the breakout rooms icon. And once we open up the breakout rooms, you'll be able to click on there and choose which breakout room that you'd like to go to. And the great thing is you can bounce around. So if you want to jump over and talk to Tiana, learn a little bit more about Sophos, or if you want to jump over to Trevor and talk to them about ConnectWise, talk to Trevor about ConnectWise, or Mike over at OpenText, you can kind of move around there. So that's one great thing. And what's going to happen is you'll be able to ask them any questions. They can share additional information. Please definitely go into the rooms, ask them questions. Maybe you can stump them with a question, but they are here. This is an incredible opportunity for you to ask any questions about their product, but also if you have any questions just about what's happening in the industry as well. Obviously, each of these ladies and gentlemen have a great deal of knowledge and have been in the channel for quite some time, and they're more than happy to share their expertise with you. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and open up our breakout rooms. As indicated, you can go ahead and pick which breakout room that you'd like to go into. If you have any questions, you're not sure how to get into a breakout room, just go ahead and let us know. You can throw a comment into the chat. And about 2 minutes before breakout rooms are done, we will go ahead and pull you back into the main stage, and we'll go from there. For everybody that's listening out on in YouTube, this concludes the end of our session. All the more reason to join us here live in Zoom so that you can stay and participate in the breakout rooms. And we'll see everybody back here in the main stage in about 14 minutes.